Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name is Dean Constantopoulos. I'll be one of your hosts today, and I'm joined with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. Nick, I feel like it has been a little bit of time since we've done this.
It's good to be back. All of a sudden, just through a variety of variables, people get sick, people get busy, people get overwhelmed, but we're not going away.
Exactly.
We're not going away. We're going to keep pumping out the episodes because there's just so many fun things going on around here and great people we want to talk to.
Exactly. And, kind of in that vein, just it's kind of been a crazy flu season this year is what I'm hearing. Just so everybody take care. Make sure you drink lots of
Sounds
fluids.
like you know that firsthand, Dean.
I may have dabbled these past couple of weeks in some of that.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, so just take care of yourselves out there, and we're thinking about you. But in the meantime, we have an amazing guest here with us today. We have Mike Kucko, who is the IT manager here at ASD4. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's good to be here with everybody.
It's great to have you.
No, we're excited. So, Mike, I'll break the ice as the new guy here. You definitely are in the running as one of the nicest people. I have never seen you ever in a bad mood. I've never seen it.
Same.
He's always smiley. He's always in a good mood. And
that's right.
So I know who you are, but for everybody out there listening, who exactly are you? How long have you been here at the district? And why do you work in the IT field? How did that happen?
Years ago, when I first got out of high school, I had a union job in a warehouse.
Okay.
And I thought, union job, I'm set for life. 30 years, I can retire, get my full benefits. And I hated it.
Oh, gotcha.
And my wife's always like, why don't you go to school for something? And it's like, I don't know what I want to go to school for. And so finally she said, well, you're always doing those Radio Shack projects in the basement. Why don't you go to school for electronics?
Radio Shack projects.
I like it. You gotta expand a little bit more on that.
Oh, Radio Shack even falls more into this. So I started taking electronics classes at College of DuPage. And then it was during the 80s, and then that's when they were breaking unions and everything. And the union basically got broken where I was, and I was out looking for a job. And I ended up at Radio Shack's repair center. They had a computer repair center in Downers Grove. And so I ended up over there, and that's where I started learning how to fix computers.
Oh, very cool.
And I stayed there for about 16 years till Radio Shack closed all of that down.
Right.
And then that's when I ended up at the school district here probably about 17 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Small world. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Seriously. So what was the transition like going from more like of the retail side at Radio Shack to more of the education side here at schools?
It was very different. At Radio Shack, you're always worried about making money and getting things done quickly. And then over here, it was just like they just wanted things done right.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part to get used to. They didn't care if it took a little longer. They just wanted it done right.
Gotcha. So less about the quotas and all that kind of stuff,
exactly,
more about just
yes.
making sure we have all our ducks in a row. I like that. So I know that the tech department's involved in like so much of our daily operations, and I know that for the board meetings, for example, I work very closely with you guys, like to make sure that the live stream's going well and to make sure that the audio's all good. So, what are some of the main responsibilities of the IT department? And also, when can some of our teachers and staff kind of expect to see you guys around at some of the schools, or to get some emails from you, or what does a normal day look like for the IT department?
Most of our work is done basically behind the scenes. the way I always look at it is if they don't see us, that usually means we're doing our job.
Right.
But behind the scenes, we're constantly upgrading equipment on the network, drivers, and just basically the entire network we work on. Like just recently, we just upgraded our internet and our connection between the schools.
Oh, nice.
We had a 1 gigabit connection between the schools. We've got a 10 gigabit connection now.
Ooh.
Then we had 5 gigabit going out to the internet, and now we're up to a 10 gigabit connection going out to the internet.
Very nice.
And then when I first started here, I think it was like a 10 megabit connection we had going out to the internet.
Wow.
And it was a 1 meg connection between the schools. So things have changed a lot.
Yeah, bit of an upgrade since
That's
then.
unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah. How many computers did we have in the district when you started?
When I first started, we might have had close to 600 computers.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We had 2 technicians and an outsourced IT manager and an IT director.
Yeah.
And now we've got probably close to 5,000 computers.
Oh, geez.
We have a wireless network now, which we didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, we've got a camera system now, which we didn't have before.
Right.
And many, many more things that we never had before.
Yeah.
And now we have basically the IT manager, which is me, 3 technicians, and that's it.
That's cool.
But it's amazing watching like how much technology has grown just in a typical school district like ours or anybody else's. So it's like if you were to go back in time, talk to Mike 17 years ago when you started, did you ever think stuff would grow this fast, as fast as it did?
No, I never would have. Like when we got our first wireless network at the school district here, basically what we did was we just put home access points up in the hallways.
Oh, cool.
Wow, that's all it was?
That's all it was.
Oh my gosh.
But at that time, the only people that had any wireless connectivity were basically the teachers. Because we had just, when I first started here, teachers didn't have computers. We just had a desktop computer in each classroom.
Right.
And then shortly after I started, we did a rollout with tablet computers, and then we ended up with the Lenovo tablet computers a couple years later then. And then that's when all the teachers started getting them. Then we started getting carts of computers for the students. And then that's when we found out that the home access points were just totally overwhelmed and unusable.
Right.
And so then we had to upgrade our wireless network at that point too.
Okay. And when did we start bringing in like all of the individual Chromebooks for students, and when did that whole push started? When did that whole push start, really?
That started probably about 7 years ago, I think, is when we first started with the one-on-one Chromebooks for the students.
Gotcha. Oh, very cool.
How surreal was that? Like, I mean, and again, I'm always curious to like just how fast technology. I, as a teacher, when I first started, never would have imagined a world where 5- and 6-year-olds would be carrying around their own Chromebooks. Was it that way for you as well as you reflect?
I didn't have time to think about that. All we had time to think about was like, how are we going to get these out and into the kids' hands?
Yeah.
And it worked out okay. Everything worked out okay. We made up a plan and things just fell into place then.
I like it. I like how that works out. So, is there anything coming up for the technology department that you feel that teachers and staff should really kind of be aware of? Any sort of like kind of technology checks or turning in any of your equipment or anything like that just things on their radar that they should be aware of?
Well, our hope is to be replacing the teachers' computers this summer.
Oh, great.
That's the hope. We have to, go look and see what's out there, see if we can work it in the budget yet and everything.
Sure.
But that is our thought. And if that is the case, then at the end of this year, the teachers won't be turning in their computers.
Okay.
And then once we get the new computers in and configured, then they'll just bring them back and we'll just swap out computers for them then.
Oh, perfect. So we're looking at some a few upgrades possibly.
As far as the computers for the teachers, yes.
Very cool. That's something
You
to be
heard it here
excited
first.
about. That's right.
That's why you got to listen to these podcasts.
Exactly.
Get that stuff out there. Well,
Exactly.
Mike, it's always a pleasure. So if somebody out there in the community is like, I work in the tech field, I got some questions, or there's some staff member that goes, I for whatever reason just realized I don't have his email address, even though they should. What's the easiest way to reach out to you, my friend?
By email would be the best way, the mckucko@asd4.org.
Perfect.
And then I'll get to it as fast as I can. Right now, we're shorthanded. We're a little bit busy, but, I do answer my emails. It's not right away, but they will get answered, though.
Perfect. And Nick, how about you? If somebody wanted to reach out to you and had any questions about tech or upcoming events going on, I know there are a lot of holiday events coming up. So what's the best way someone could reach out to you?
I'm always district email as well, but I like lingering around on Twitter at Dr. Nick Sutton's an easy way to reach me. Dino, same question to you.
Same thing. It's going to be Twitter, probably the best way, at AddisonSD4. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of awesome information, and that's going to be really cool. I hope we can learn some more about those new computers. That'll be a great thing to learn about. And for everybody listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.